You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I'm spending $3,000 on paints.
Do you go to therapy?
Never have, nah.
There was a small fire. I put it out.
Real talk, the stakes are too high with my baby.
Comedy, parenting, married, life.
We do it all.
I'm a dad and I'm busy.
I have an opinion. I don't know if it'll be right, but
I'm Patrick.
my name is Gastor.
We hired a sitter.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 157 of We Hired a Sitter for This. My name is Patrick Holbert.
It was good. I'm Gastor Almonte.
And welcome to the new viewers. I've noticed that we are getting more views each week.
Hell yeah.
They're going up. People are seeking out certain episodes. I did an episode with oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Very nice Christian comic. He did the show while we were busy. Oh my God, why am I?
I don't know why, but
I'm gonna have to start over.
It just sounded like you would be like during that time we had beef. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
we were
during the famous Gastor and Patrick turmoil.
the great beef of summer 2024.
It was all of 6 days.
Yeah.
But it was very, very traumatic for both of us.
Yes, and I got a Christian comic. I brought Jeff Zimmerman on.
Real talk.
I brought Laurel Cummings on.
We
and
went to the South.
Yeah, we all shit on you, and
I hear it.
I convinced them all to take my side. Thank God. No, it's interesting. I'm trying to be better about the titles, and I'm realizing nobody reads the description, so it's funny. Like the title, Bear Attack, I think I did.
Yeah.
That's got significantly more views than the other ones.
Nice.
When I did a title that said Money Problems, people watch that one. So yeah, and then one that Ross and I were talking about sex stuff on there. That's got a bunch more views. So it's interesting to see that if I could be better about titling these things, maybe more people will see it. But I do think people are checking out the YouTube. I think
you're gonna know if you've watched this far. Know that the title has nothing to do with the episode. You figured it out.
Yeah.
But that's only this episode. Next episode is coming back in, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I also think people are viewing this as like comfort food. They're like, oh, this is like nice. They're nice men with nice voices, and they talk about interesting things.
Yeah.
I'll just have it on in the background.
Why not? You know what I mean?
Luke Thayer. God, I don't know why
I like Luke.
Totally fried my brain, I think. I'm just like burnt out in multiple ways.
I gotta tell you, didn't realize he was a Christian comic.
Well, he's not. I don't think he promotes himself as a Christian comic. He is a comic who is Christian.
Okay.
He's a clean comic. He does a lot of material about the church. I actually titled that episode "The Gospel of Luke," which I think is pretty genius.
Not bad.
And yeah, I literally didn't make a clip of him or anything, and I guess people just look him up. Christian fans out there, I don't know. You tell me. Are you craving? Are you craving this sort of content on YouTube?
You need more of the Lord in your comedy.
Yeah,
Respect.
I definitely do. I need a higher power. I need Jesus. I need something to keep me sane.
I def have Jesus adjacent people praying for my success.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I'll take it. My father-in-law is a deacon.
Wow.
So like I know like he's like like my grandkids got to eat.
Yeah.
So I hope this guy makes it. You know, he's
I like the idea of him at church each week, like trying to get people to pray for you. Like everybody's like, they say like in the service often they'll say, does anybody have any prayers or blessings they would like to share? And people are like, I have a relative with cancer. My friend's house burned down. This guy's like, and as always, folks, my son-in-law
still trying.
He's chipping away at this career. Please pray that he could pay next month's mortgage.
Real talk. You know what I mean? He doesn't even need to make it forever. Just needs to get through both of my grandkids getting through high school. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
4 more years of him surviving. After that, he's on his own.
Yes.
I won't bother you, God.
And what is a deacon? How Jesus adjacent is that? Is he above the priest of the church? Is this a Catholic?
In a Catholic church, a deacon, I would say, if we're doing like power rankings, would be right below priest.
Okay.
So they can do everything during the mass except for the blessing of the bread and like when it converts to the body of Christ.
Yeah.
And it's all, and I believe there's like also like a couple of like other nuanced middle things. One of the big things that I think is a perk to being a deacon, they can still get married.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like they're like as they're by the same token, if you view it the other way, they're as high as like a layman can get.
What's
a
layman?
Like you're a person that can get married. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could do almost all the ceremony stuff, the mass.
He gets a cool robe.
Yeah, he's in the front of the stage.
Does he have the bling? Does he have like
he
jewels?
gets the rock. He does the wine thing up top.
Nice.
They do a lot of the things, but like the actual conversion of like if you believe in this stuff, the communion,
yeah,
they don't do the conversion part of it, but they do give it out.
He doesn't have the spells. They didn't get all the spells.
And but yeah, outside of that, he the same joint. He out there.
He's like upper middle management.
Yeah, real talk.
I like it.
It's dope.
And I think it's worth it to have a lady friend you can marry. You can marry your best friend and still have the holiness in the house.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Real talk. I respect
good.
his game. I think it's cool, man. He gets called in for big events every now and then. Like he's like a local legend. So like he's well known for his like speeches and his sermons, I guess it would be part of me.
Yeah.
But like I'll be walking, there's a lot of Catholic churches in New York.
Yeah.
So I'll walk through neighborhoods and there'll be flyers up for him.
Yeah.
And like
he's headlining this weekend.
Real talk. He's headlining at this church in Queens or Brooklyn or the Manhattan. And they'll say like you've seen him like when the Pope was in town.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, yo, this is fire. Like, yo, you doing better than me. You got a podcast?
He's like, you've seen him on Cinemax, Showtime. He's working on that HBO special.
Real talk. But he got called out like when the Pope was in town or something, and he went he's like a big local deacon. So I thought it was just pretty dope.
Yeah,
you know
deacon. That's just got such good weight to it. I like the title of deacon.
It's solid. Real talk, yo.
Good for him. I'm glad you got somebody on the inside. Because we all.
I need it.
I think we all need a little religion and a little more patience and love with each other. Things are getting scary out there.
Amen.
What I was just gonna say something about the church. Anyway, it's good to see you.
Likewise, brother.
We're nearly in real time. We're recording this on Tuesday, October 8th for Wednesday, October 9th airing.
Whoa.
So if you're listening, if you're watching right now, you're on you're in the present. We're all here together.
We here. No Michael J. Fox, so this one needed.
No, and no time travel. And October is already, I'm like, the season has changed. Yesterday morning, same thing with this morning. We're getting up at 6:30. It's still dark outside. I'm like, what is going on? Did the Earth's axis just like hit some perfect point where it's like, okay, you're headed into winter now. Congratulations and welcome. Because I'm not really ready for it.
Nah, I mean, I'm with it. This is my favorite time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, October,
Crisp.
November, I love it.
Yeah.
I like wearing jackets, but I don't like zippering them up.
Yes.
I am a big Yankee fan, and I felt like growing up, they just won a World Series every year for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's my birthday month. Big on that.
What's the day?
The 23rd.
Wow.
So like
that's my cousin's birthday.
Rock on. Yeah. Fellow cusp, gang. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We Libra Scorpios.
Yeah.
So I'm big on that. It's also as a sport person in general. You got football full swing, baseball championships, basketball starts up.
Yeah.
It's all the stuff. And if you're into hockey, I think they do something around this time too.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, I it's a big like happy time of year for me.
Yeah.
So I rock with it.
Yeah, and Yankees are still in, right?
They're still in this year, baby.
Mets are still in.
Yeah.
This is an exciting time to be in New York City.
Yeah. We could do hopefully a World Series again with a Subway Series.
Subway Series, yeah.
Be dope.
Was that 2003?
Something, nah, it had to be before that because I was still in high school.
Yeah.
It was like 01 or 2000, something like that.
Yeah.
But I told you that like they went to my high school to interview us because what's his name, Joe Torre, the Yankee manager, graduated from my high school. His sister used to teach there.
Right.
But also the high school was in Queens. So it was like the perfect like yin and yang, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had people rooting for the Yankees in the building, but the kids were all like Mets fans for the most part.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was good times.
Yeah, you're lucky to have grown up in New York City for reasons like that. Like exciting people doing interesting things, so many different personalities.
You guys weren't Yankee fans up there?
I mean, I grew up a Yankee fan, a lot of Mets fans, Giants football.
Okay.
Some Jets fans. I grew up. My first baseball game ever was a Mets game, and it was through my brother's Boy Scout troop. They did a big trip to New York City to watch the Mets, and then after that, it was all Yankee games. We went maybe once a year, twice a year.
That's beautiful.
Something like that, and it was always an experience to get in the car with Mom to drive to the Bronx, where she would invariably get lost somewhere, and
that's part of the experience.
No GPS back then, just figure it out, and it felt like a world away, and now I know how close it is to get from where I grew up to New York City, and I'm always like, man, I wish we did more visiting, but it is what it is.
That is a real New York experience, though. Like, I didn't do any of the tourist stuff growing up with my family. Like, anything touristy I've seen has been when one of my, like, immigrant adjacent fam visits.
Yeah.
And they're like, I heard of this. And we take them, and they're like, yo, you come here all the time? I'm like never.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen this. Watching it for the first time, just as much in awe as you are.
Yeah. My first time to the Statue of Liberty was June of 2017. That was the first time I ever set foot on that island. I lived in New York City at that point for 14 years.
Real talk.
Never went there.
Yo.
And I took family from Arkansas there. And it was great.
It was beautiful.
Really nice day. And that is a cool little island, Ellis. Not Ellis Island. What is that?
What is that?
What is that? Probably Liberty Island.
That's how little we go, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I haven't been to any of the other like little like joints, like the one with the red trolley thing that goes across the city. I don't know.
Roosevelt Island.
Yeah, Roosevelt. Yeah. Haven't been there. Governors. Haven't been there.
Yeah, Governor's Island I never went to. Apparently there's cool stuff there now. There's some like spa you can go to that's fancy.
I've wanted to go because of Hot 97. They always got Governor's Ball, that hip hop party, but never made it.
And it's an interesting historical place. I think that and Battery Park, I think, used to have like cannons and stuff to like defend the country. Like during the Revolution, I think they had like forts and guns and all kinds of stuff set up.
That's the Governors.
Yeah, so
Thug life.
It's Gangster Island.
Hell yeah.
Staten Island, of course, you've been.
I've been, but you know, I went there for pizza and Wu-Tang.
Yes.
I wanted to know where they were at.
Yeah, did you find streets and intersections?
Yeah. This I went there with the homie Mike Brick, photographer in the New York scene.
Yeah.
He's a Staten Island native, and he
nice.
just literally just showed me where the projects were that were always being shouted out in Wu-Tang songs. It was dope. You got to see Stapleton. He also took me to this building that they used to as Arkham Asylum, which was really dope. But yeah, like there's a lot of just cool scenery that
like
ends up
in the Batman movies.
In the Batman movies.
Okay.
So like you get to see like what it looks like by day, but it's just cool. Like there's a lot of like less city looking scenery in Staten Island that it looks really cinematic.
Yeah.
So like there's just cool stuff that's visually been dope.
Yeah.
And then the street where the two project buildings where most Wu is from has kind of been dedicated to them. So like there's like a big graffiti mural. The street got renamed after them. So it's just kind of dope to see them embrace their place in the culture. It's kind of fire.
I mean, it'll be interesting when they all get elected to city council and they're holding positions of responsibility for Staten Island.
Yeah, all them dudes is in their like 50s and 60s at this point. Like they're old. Yeah, I think it's cool.
Yeah. Except for ODB. Rest in peace.
Word up. I
just learned that is not the first Staten Island.
There's another Staten Island?
There's another Staten Island, and it was named that before this one. The original is off the coast of South America, off of Argentina.
Whoa!
And I'm reading this book about the some of the what were they called? Those explorers, the conquistadors and explorers that would sail down and go around the bottom of South America, around Cape Horn. And as you're sailing, like this book I'm reading is about a British armada that sailed down there to try to get gold from the Spanish, and they were going down alongside South America and between Argentina, there's an island off of Argentina called Staten Island, and it's called Argentines call it La Isla de Estado, the island of the states, or
right.
Or I don't know, something like that. And the sailors describe this specific island looking so scary and foreboding because it's just like all rocks, apparently.
Right.
But yeah, I'm like, wait, how is this the first time I'm learning that in 1740 they were calling some other island Staten Island?
Yo.
Because I'm picturing this British man o' war, that's the kind of ship it's called, passing our Staten Island.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of guys going, hey, get out of here. What the fuck you want from me? But it's really just this.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's my ragtag horrible history lesson of the day.
That's what we do, baby.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of traveling, I was thinking I could tell you this story, and maybe there's some life lessons in here that could be interesting to talk about. There's also plenty of stand-up nerding out we can do about this.
Hell yeah.
But I learned some wisdom from a stand-up veteran. Do you know Oscar Colazos?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, great guy.
Yo, Colombian OG over there.
Yeah, he's so youthful, but he's been doing comedy for 30 years or some shit. I think like 25 years.
Real talk. Gray Skin Regiment.
Yes,
Real talk.
yes. Beautiful young man. Really kind. I met him up at Yonkers Comedy Club. I did a show up there. He was emceeing, and we've just been buddies ever since. And he asked me to do this corporate show. I guess it's corporate. It was a country club show.
Okay.
Up in Rhode Island. Me, him, Joanna Briley.
Oh, hell yeah. That's the home too.
Yeah, she's the best.
Real talk.
Really fun drive up there. They're both just great. And he's like, I've worked with these people before. It was a great show. They're going to love you. You got to kind of break them open, but should be super fun. And we had several things working against us with this gig. First of all, it was at this golf country club on the coast of Rhode Island on this like beautifully scenic setting. It looked like a movie set. I mean, it was crazy. It was like white marble everywhere. I asked about a dress code. He's like, no dress code. I didn't dress like a total scrub, but I also wasn't like dressed for the occasion either.
Right.
Very white, wealthy audience. Wait staff like dressed in all black, and we're all doing a half hour, and I got to go last, thank God, because those two, everybody did fine, but the crowd was weird. The room was weird. Actually, this is interesting. I forgot about this. So, Oscar goes up. There's no lighting. Like, there's ceiling lights. It's this really fancy room. There's like chandeliers. There's a weird side room. So, of course, there's like lights in sconces, like what a sconce is in the wall, like the little fixtures in the wall. And then there's like
never heard that word
LEDs
before.
Around these like seams in the ceiling. And but there's no spotlight, and we decide where the performance area is. And then it's all full dinner tables. It's like big round dinner tables. And there's like 75 or 80 people in there. And we decide where the performance space will be, and that we can leave half the room lights on because that will sort of light what the stage is.
Right.
And a minute before going on, all the lights get turned off, and all the only light that's left are these red LEDs in the ceiling in this circular kind of big fixture in the ceiling. It's like recessed lighting to look fancy.
Okay.
And we're like, well, we gotta turn those lights back on. We'll talk to the guy, and it's this kid. It's like the owner's son. He's like, well, they said they wanted all the lights off, and we're like,
love this.
We're like, well, we gotta turn some lights on. And he's like, they said no. They said no lights. And Oscar talked to the real person in charge, like the big dog, and that guy was like, we like it like this. And Oscar's like, all right. And he opens the show. He does a set. My eyes adjust, and you can kind of see him. And it's not pitch black. And the side room. This is what it is. The side room light is on. So,
this is great.
You're basically backlit by the light from the other room. So it's like a silhouette. And he goes up. He's great. I mean, he's just, it's a wireless mic. He's literally going table to table doing audience interaction and
he
crowd
slept
work.
on as like a host. He is like phenomenal.
Yeah, he's just so great. And then he brings Joanna up, and that's when we all realize how horrible this lighting decision is, because she is a black woman.
Oh yeah, you're gonna see her.
And she takes the stage holding her cell phone light at herself.
Yo, that's the homie. Hell yeah.
It was amazing. She's like, "You're gonna see my motherfucking ass tonight." And she does that for a good 5 minutes or something. I got some shots of her doing that. It was so funny. And but she also calls him out. Like, it made me so uncomfortable that they still wouldn't turn the lights on for this African American woman you cannot see in the dark.
That's wild.
So she called him on that, which was great, and they deserved it. But it also, like, and a couple things that came up during Oscar set just made me like start hating the crowd before I even got in front of them. So yeah, she does great and she has fun with them, but they're also like, there's a couple tables that are like a little too uppity and like not open to having a good time or whatever.
Of course.
And so yeah, when I go up, there's one table where a guy has completely turned his back and he's just socializing with two of his table mates.
Right.
And I got into it with him, and I was just like, this is 2 weeks ago now. I'm just like trying to figure out how to acknowledge that, like, it's interruptive. I mean, 80 people isn't enough people for a whole table to like hijack the rest of the room, you know, like.
Right. So
I basically said, like, hey, if you want to chat, like, grab a drink, go out in the front bar area, like, you don't have to stay, you know.
Right.
And some of these people have never been spoken to directly like that.
Right.
And he didn't like it, and he turns to me and he said a couple things back, and then he says that he's deaf in one of his ears, and that's why he couldn't hear me at first, or he couldn't hear his friend, and that's why he was talking loud, something like that. He basically claiming that he's deaf, and that made me feel shitty, but then I tried to make it funny. Somehow it came out more cruel than funny. And then he finally does get up and leave, and everybody was on my side throughout. And after the show, I said, they were like, that was great. That guy's such a dick. Like, we don't like him. You were right. And I was like, yeah, but why did I have to be cruel about it? Anyway, long story short, we get through it. It's fine. We did a really fun Q&A, the three of us, and that was so fun. And then and the wisdom that I wanted to share that I think you would think is interesting, or you've probably made the same point to me, was, you know, it's a 3.5 hour drive, maybe longer. It might have been 4 hours to get home or whatever. And Oscar said, he was like, you know, if we all killed tonight and it was a great show, we'd have nothing to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But now we've got plenty to talk about.
You got stories, man.
And we literally had like so many things that we all went around and talked about things we wish we did differently, people we didn't like, or how did one situation lead to another, like where did, you know, what could we all have done differently,
right,
to open our sets or the show. And it was just really, it was kind of like a interesting life thing of like, oh yeah, it is kind of more interesting for things to not go perfectly.
Yo, real talk. It's funny because I did not know. I didn't know this happened. Didn't know who you went with. Didn't know that you went. Period. And the people you mentioned are two people that I think demonstrate that the most. Like, Oscar doesn't get enough credit for how good he is.
Yeah.
Period. He is dope as a stand-up.
Yeah.
But the thing I think that he deserves the most credit for is his transparency of stand-up.
Yeah.
Like, he will post about, yeah, I marketed this show and it didn't work for whatever reason, and I ended up having to do an hour to 6 people.
Yeah.
Like, he'll talk about the wins, but he'll talk about the ugly.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that that's why he's dope, because he still does that show.
Yeah.
And he doesn't half-ass it. You get full Oscar at every show.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter who's in the room, how many or how much, whatever.
Yeah.
You gonna get the best of him that day. And I think that's fire, and I think that's why he's dope. And Joanna, same thing. Like, that's someone that's like, you want to talk about fitting in stand-up around your life. Like, she's a full-time employee. I don't want to put a job out, but like, she working.
Yeah. I think, well, she talks about it really openly.
But like, you know, she has a job that like is a full-time gig, but The hours aren't necessarily traditional.
No.
And it's demanding, and their schedule changes, and she's figured out how to get dope. At different times, she's like run a club. Like she's figured out how to stay involved in comedy. She runs a dope festival for women. That like it just demonstrates that like there's ways of going about this journey if you're willing to deal with the lumps.
Right.
So when you in a car with, I'm not surprised that they see the good in that.
Yeah.
Because there are people that have dealt with bigger L's and have overcome them to be dope ass stand ups. I rock with both of them. Funny ass people.
Yeah, it was the best.
Like you telling this story the whole time, I'm like, all of this sounds atrocious. And by the same token, I wish I was there. Yeah. Like the whole time, I'm like, I'm a little jealous. You know? And like none of that sounded pleasant.
Yeah.
But it sounded good to be a part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, a huge piece of gratitude I have is that it's nice to do a show with somebody who can book a show properly, where it was a great chemical mix with the three of us.
Yeah.
And he negotiated the right money, you know?
Good
like,
shit.
I hope he took care of himself, but he definitely took care of me. I didn't talk to Joanna about what the money was for her. I assume it was the same for her and I, but it felt like, yeah, this is a good gig. This is good money. Yes, I will. And he, like you're saying, like he's a person, both of them are people that I could learn a lot from. And that time in the car, even on the way to the gig, is super valuable just to trade information and like, you know, just approach the whole thing the way they would approach it. Cause like I'm going through and I'm like, well, what do I want to do with my 30 minutes? And I'm thinking about my set and I'm thinking about what I just shot this year and what is hopefully coming out soon. And what am I working on? And I'm like, how am I going to maximize my half hour? And Joanna's like, I'm just going to go and have fun and be in the moment and take it as it comes and like see where I can connect with them. Like she was really preparing herself for what a lot of us would call a jazz set, you know, like just kind of figure it out. And I was like, oh yeah, like I love that too. And I haven't really had that mindset about it in a while. And, you know, just start talking about the Meisner technique and different trainings she's done. And I didn't know a lot of that about her.
She get busy.
Yeah. And it was cool to, it was just cool to like kind of brainstorm with them and then go and see how everybody handled this very, very strange scenario. And also like me having to let go a lot of my control stuff, because as you've witnessed, like I have some control issues, and my whole September I was doing all those apartment shows where, you know, I bring my gear, I know how my gear works, I know how I would do the lights, I'll bring my lights that I have their own problems. Like I mean, you experience this. Like I make the lights bright because I want to make it look like a show, you know?
Right.
And once I realized, oh, they don't have any lights for this, I just have to like say, like literally in my head, just say, fuck the lights. Like put on a show for the environment you're in right now.
Right.
Like just do it. And then to see Joanna make that so funny with her cell phone light, I was just like,
she's dope,
this
man.
is great.
That's the game, B. You figure it out. You do the pivots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. You know, with that said, what's up, Rhode Island? Why y'all being weird to that time, man? Y'all normally cool.
Who's that?
Rhode Island.
Oh, Rhode Island. Yeah. Well, I think there were some cool people in there. Definitely.
Okay.
But this is also a very specific segment of society. I mean, I don't know what these... Actually, I did ask somebody at the urinal. I asked, what are the yearly dues? Because, you know, these guys, after the people who did enjoy it really wanted to hang out with us and bullshit.
Yeah.
And I asked somebody what the yearly dues were. And, I wish I could remember the specific number. Because whatever it was sounds like a lot to me. I said what it is to Oscar, and he was like, oh, that's pretty low, actually. I think it might be $15,000 or $20,000.
To be a member of that place?
Yeah, to be a member there. Which they still had to pay for the show. They pay for anything they eat or drink there. I assume they pay for golf. I assume they pay for everything, but just to be a member, it costs.
That's insane.
That kind of money.
Y'all are stupid.
But
yo,
I think somebody was saying like normally it's more like $60,000.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think. I don't know. I'm like kind of going from vague memory here, but
bro, I got a yard, B. Y'all can come over.
Set up some putt.
Real talk, B.
Actually, that's a fun topic. What's your fantasy country club? If you had a space. Let's say a few acres with some trails and maybe an edge of a pond.
Okay.
And some buildings, like a couple cottages and some kind of gathering space, like a rec center.
Okay.
What happens at your country club?
I mean, I would assume a lot of the same. It's just be culturally different. Like I tease, but like I get it. I understand the need for that space. I would not do golf. I would have batting cages.
Oh hell yeah!
Batting cages I think are slept on.
Yes.
I love them. I hate that I have to pay by the hour for them. So if I paid a membership and could just come use them and like sign up.
And actually, what I would say about the batting cages, I grew up around a mini golf place where there were batting cages and a driving range, and we loved both of those.
Yes.
My brother and I, we never got good at golf, but we loved fucking nailing golf balls.
Real talk.
That is fun as hell.
I am with you on that. I think the driving range would be dope. Batting cage would be dope.
I want any hitting related things from sports without the cardio side of the sport.
Real talk. You see the vision.
I want to swing the bat, but I don't want to run anywhere, and I definitely don't want to walk to the end of the golf course.
I'm gonna do axe throwing.
I
like that. I think that's fun. Some table activities. We gonna play bones. So you got dominoes, Uno.
Okay.
We got
bones is
spades.
short for dominoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We gonna do spades. I like pool. Pool table could be there.
I would say craps, but that involves a lot of bending over and picking shit up.
No,
off
you
the
could
floor.
set up a table on table. Yeah, we could do some CeeLo. I like CeeLo. Poker table for sure. Sports tables all over. The food game would be different, a lot more fried centric.
Before we move on from table activities, I would like a room devoted to good, clean fun. Like I want a puzzling table. Have you ever done a puzzle in a group?
Nah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an endurance challenge.
Go to Patrick's Country Club for that. Now, we're not doing that over here.
What about Uno?
Actually, you know what? I've been going to the Flop House, the comedy club, and they've gotten me into puzzles.
Oh, they have puzzling there?
Yeah, they got like in the front area when you're waiting for your spot. They got like but it's not like the 1,000-piece put together a picture puzzles. It's more like 3D. Like you need to like make this thing back until its original shape.
Oh, interesting.
It's pretty cool. I rock with it. So you know what?
I love puzzles. I know you're supposed to hang out at clubs more often if you want people to get to know you and meet the booker or whatever.
Yeah.
This is the first club I'm thinking like I would actually go hang out there just to do puzzles.
Real talk. It's a fun hang. They good group of guys there to run it.
Yeah.
But the hang is dope. You get to meet a lot of the younger comics too. Like solid shows. I'm impressed with what they're building there.
Oh, that's great. Good to hear.
I still wouldn't get puzzles, but I would go to Patrick's for the puzzle.
What about like trivia, like Trivial Pursuit game like board games? Any board games? You
Monopoly?
You want full gambling?
Yeah, I'm pro gambling. Like why are we doing this? Like
I just like good, clean fun, low stakes.
It could be clean fun.
Uno, bragging rights.
We'll wipe down every table every day.
I got into 4 Crowns or 5. Is it 5 Crowns? Yeah, 5 Crowns is a card game my aunt got me into.
Okay.
I want good, clean fun.
That sound like the Hood 5 guys. Like yeah, that's fire. Go in there, get
a couple of cheeseburgers and potato fries.
Get some Italian cheeseburgers, B.
And play with greasy, buttery fingers.
I love it.
All right,
I would have a fun country club.
Yeah, I cut you off. So you've got the gambling room, you've got the batting cages, food. Yeah, how would the culinary arts change?
The breakfast is mangú.
You
know what I mean?
That's
essentially
Dominican.
Yeah. Anytime you think potato, think plantain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you'd be like on the right course.
Now you're speaking my language.
You know what I mean? I think that could work.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's most of. A lot of hammocks outside. I like hammocks.
Yeah, places to recline. Relax.
Yeah, we need some hammocks. I want a beanbag room for the kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
You know what I'm taking?
Bouncy house.
What I'm taking from the ritzy country clubs?
What's that?
Golf carts.
Oh, I got to tell you,
not
I'm
even for
that.
any real reason. Just a lot of golf carts available. Take a ride around the pond. Enjoy yourself. I'm
pro golf cart. They look fun to drive.
Yeah.
I mainly aren't they just like the ATVs?
Well, they're like electric usually. Golf carts, I think, are electric, so they don't really. But yeah, we could do it. Actually, yeah, maybe we need to step it up. Have some ATVs, gas powered.
Yeah. Real talk.
I'm sure everything would be fine.
Yeah, some ATVs. Yeah,
maybe a movie theater,
outdoor,
like a media room.
I like that.
Where you could do screenings. Could watch sports.
I want baseball on at all times.
Yeah,
like MLB, Serie A del Caribe. I want Japanese baseball. I want all of the baseball.
What was the second one? What was the
Serie
Spanish
del
one?
Caribe. That's the Caribbean World Series.
Caribbean.
So you got like DR, PR, Cuba, and Mexico. They all like play to see which one's the Latin baseball champ.
Must be legitimately better games than MLB.
It's fantastic because you get both. You get like essentially the team that wins that country's championship becomes like a hyper version of themselves because they also get the natives that play in the MLB to join that team.
Okay.
And then they play. So you get like the super like Dominican All-Star team playing the Puerto Rican All-Star team, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And they get bragging rights and they play during the winter.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this in the off season?
Yeah. So like it'll start literally right after the World Series.
Yeah.
And then they play because they're all available now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's dope. And like the cheering sections are crazy, you know what I mean? A lot more fireworks. I want fireworks in my country club.
Yeah, Disney style, nightly
Amen.
fireworks.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, DJ.
Mm-hmm.
In the welcoming area, I'm with this.
Yeah, I think my country club, we've emulated this certain winters, like over the last few years, fall and winter. There have been a handful of times us and some other friends have gotten like Airbnbs upstate where we'll, be like us and like a couple of times it's been like 10 other people, get a big house. You all you go grocery shopping, hit a farmer's market, make meals together at night. Yeah. One of these, our friends organized a show and tell where we sat around and did a show and tell, which was like very cute and wholesome and fun. A lot of board games. And this is like 10 years ago now when adult coloring books were big. Somebody brought a stack of adult coloring books. So like, I like that kind of stuff. Like I want a reading nook, Okay. I want maybe a book club breaks out, like show and tell or some kind of, lots of puzzles. Last couple winters we did holiday Airbnbs. Always had a puzzle that we're chipping away at. Unfortunately, my physicality, I can't do puzzles for long anymore. If I'm bent over and my eyes are straining, it's like painful after an hour of puzzling.
Puzzles is taking you out, was it? Yo, I thought I was out of shape, but yo, that's some wild shit to say. Puzzles, fucking me. I'm sore.
Yeah.
The puzzle game, crazy.
I'm getting backaches. Especially if I'm standing over a table and hunched over.
Got that puzzles elbow, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And my eyes are losing effectiveness. Over the pandemic, I had a work light mounted on that shelf over there, pointed down at a table. I think I might have had 2 work lights so I could see what I was doing. This was important stuff.
I feel like you had the puzzle pieces like the wrong way.
Oh yeah,
like you just looking at the
upside
backs.
down. Yeah. I could do that as a challenge. Actually, I consider myself a skilled puzzler, and I've started to learn that different brands have like the same like pattern, the same yeah. So I'm like,
have you seen the art pieces about that?
They're they got the remix them. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Really, really dope.
Yeah.
Amen. I like puzzles. I like books. I'm gonna leave that at my house.
Yeah, that's house.
Yeah, that's house
activities. Country club, you want to do next level.
Yeah, country club is we paying 60 racks.
Yeah.
I can't be doing puzzles. Like puzzles is wild.
Yeah, what's the buy-in for your country club?
Oh, now I'm from the people, so like my country club.
Maybe it's tip based. Like maybe there's a bucket.
No. We got to charge some. It is whatever the current Netflix fee is.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
$16.99 a month.
There you go. That's the current buy-in.
And it's like BYOB maybe.
BYOB. Yeah, you bring what you want. We got we got stuff too, but like we don't got fancy. Like you want wine, it's like red or white. That's what we got out of a box.
Yeah. And we're not even going to tell you what the brand is.
Real talk.
It's whatever was on sale.
That's what we got, B.
Speaking of drinks at the country club, is another testament to Oscar Collazo's. So I'm assuming there's a bar, there's a wait staff. They've already offered us dinner. They gave us a table in the back of the room.
Is it Collazo's?
How do you say it?
I thought it was Collazo.
Collazo's. Yeah, probably.
Now I'm bugging out.
I think he just says Collazo. Collazo's.
Collazo's. Because 2 L's, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
I know in Spanish that's the J, the J kind of sound.
Yeah.
Collazo.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yo, Oscar, let us know, B.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to throw that. I'm wondering now. Like, have I been dissing you this whole time, Oscar? My bad.
No, I mean that's how you would say it, right? Anyway, so they were like, yeah, your table's in the back of the room, which I prefer. I mean, they also had like a little wedding. This was their wedding room, I guess. There was like a wedding dressing room, so we used that as a green room. But they were like, you can eat also. We got, we have dinner for you. So I assume it's open bar for the performers,
right?
I'm like,
it should be.
I can't imagine. So I go up there, I order an NA beer, and the guy's like, he's like, he tells me how much it is, and I was like, oh, just take a card, because I'm thinking I'm not going to be the one to say, well, we're performing, we shouldn't pay for any of this. So I just give him my card, and then Joanna ordered a Prosecco, some wine, and long story short, it wasn't open. It got $100 bill at the end of the night, which I just paid. But I told him, I was like, "Hey, this, I don't know. What do you think? Should we try to get out of this?" And he was like, "Oh, I'll cover that." And he added that, like he reimbursed me for this.
That's
for
nice.
this bill. And I was just like, what a guy.
That's all, yo.
But yes, at our country club, if there's a stand-up show, we're not charging the performers. I'm not.
That's wild work. Yeah, you can't do that.
Although I think at my country club, I think the last thing I would want is stand-up.
Yeah, I don't want any comedy at all. I want comedians to go there to vent.
Yes.
Like, go relax. I want a DJ playing like instrumental hip hop and jazz.
Yeah.
And occasionally a jazz band. I ain't mad at that.
Yeah.
Bringing a jazz band. We'll do a merengue night once a week. I like Spanish music.
Yeah.
Live. I think it's fun.
And is your country club in the country?
No.
Staying in the neighborhood?
I want it in the neighborhood. Yeah.
I like that.
I feel like we need, like, I'm honestly just envisioning a beer garden, I think. Just with more activities.
Yeah.
But I think we could do that. Real talk. Like, I think, real talk, Highland Park should be a country club.
Mm-hmm.
In the neighborhood. I think
it's a beautiful park.
It's a beautiful park. And there's parts of it that go underused that I think could genuinely serve that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's plenty of areas of Highland Park where a gambling tent could be erected.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Why not?
Yeah.
Especially Upper Highland. Upper Highland's like slept on. It's beautiful up there.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that where the baseball fields are and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like back area back over there that's just it's untapped.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, let's just go set up one and see if the authorities get called.
I'm with it. My dream has always been to buy, like, there's like a row of houses up there.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to buy one of those houses because it's like they're beautiful homes. I could still say I'm in East New York, but I'm not like in East New York every day, so I got privacy. But if I need to go see my people, I can still walk. I got a big yard.
I'm trying to picture where those are.
They're like
when you come to the split, the light, the red light that you would go down the hill to your neighborhood. Right. Are you saying you would go right there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like, there's like a row of houses that like they're almost mansions.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, and they have nice real estate, drive space, parking space. And even though you have a big yard, you're also next to a huge park.
Yeah.
So if you need a bigger yard, it's there.
Yeah.
And you have all the access to the neighborhood, but the privacy.
Yes.
You're right by the highway. If you got to drive, you're like 3 blocks away from a train. You're a block from the bus. Yeah. It's fire.
Well, that's the thing with this city is proximity to nature and a park is so key. And like, we're just close to this little park here, but we're lucky. We're really lucky to have it right here. Like the other day, I was in the playground with Franny. She got this wild idea that she wanted to have a picnic.
Okay.
She wanted to go lay in the grass, and I was like, we don't have anything for a picnic, but we can go home, make a list, pack a bag, go back to the park, and we'll have a picnic. And we did that within like 30 minutes.
That's
and
awesome.
It was such a fun little father-daughter moment, and it's all because of how close we live. And
That's
I was just
beautiful.
like, damn, I forget how lucky I am.
Real
that
talk.
This park is right here.
Because we live like 3-4 blocks away from a park, and like that's close. We use it,
Yeah.
but it's just far enough that it's not like let's go anytime.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, whereas like if you live a block away, like that's like I've done house sitting for people where like the park will be across the street, and I've literally gone every day.
Yeah.
It's a game changer, that proximity. You know what I mean?
I don't think we would survive as a family if we didn't have the park right there, roof access to this building, and then the driveway in the back, and the elevator. Like all these elements are things that when we got this place, I didn't realize how important they would be. But once you have a kid and the stroller and the pushing and the driving places, like all these things are what are barely keeping our lives together. Like plenty of people start families in a 1-bedroom apartment and survive.
Right.
But like we need these
Real
like
talk.
pressure relief valves.
I ain't mad at it. I'm telling you, the driveway is vital in mine. I got like the backyard with the parking access.
Yeah.
That's huge. My office downstairs is a game changer. Like anytime I'm like, yo, I need space, I go down there and say I got work to do. I don't got work. I just need space.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's the work. It's just me getting my mental health back in order.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like it's crazy when you're single, or even if you're just cohabitating with a partner, you don't realize how much physical space matters and how much you don't need a whole lot of it. Like we have these 2 chairs down in the lobby. They're literally bolted to the floor. I think they installed them just because they will look good in pictures. But when Franny was smaller, there were nights where she would not get in the bath if it was both of us home. But once one of us left, everything got easier. So we would like take turns. Some nights we would both go for like an hour and just sit in one of those chairs down in the lobby. And it's like, I just need this 3x3 space to be fucking alone so that my partner isn't losing it upstairs. And this is enough.
That's beautiful.
And now Ross, like she every few nights a week at a certain time, right after bedtime, she'll go up to the roof and smoke a cigarette, and like zone out because everybody needs a little bit of separation.
I love this.
Sitting in the car, after a trip, or I've gone down and sat in the car. We've both done like Zoom meetings or therapy sessions or whatever from the car down in the driveway. I locked myself in the bathroom recently during a couple's quarrel.
That's dope.
You need doors and separation.
Real talk. Are you okay? You good?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was sharing with you. I'll share about this. So yeah, we have had a hard few years. No, marriage is hard, and it changes when you have kids. And this plays into the aging and the physical stuff, and my body hurting from puzzling.
Okay.
I think I'm losing my hearing. And
me too.
My eyes are starting to hurt. I think I need like readers or whatever. Like I'm doing this shit with the phone and menus and all that. But my hearing is probably degrading. And this argument happened with Ross recently where she's like, I cannot stand when I can't tell whether or not you heard me. And she's loud. I always hear her.
Right.
I just don't verbally respond all the time. And she like really needs a verbal response. And we got into this big argument over it. This is like one of a handful of arguments that I predict we'll just be having until we die.
Yeah,
and it led to us having this kind of horrible argument over the course of a week. And so we had a couples therapy session last week, and that was great. And like we've had this whole week of like feeling connected, and like it's been great. And then like literally this morning, like she had this pet peeve that I didn't know she had to the degree that she has it, which is Franny Franny's obsessed with Ghostbusters right now. Like,
rock on.
I've seen the original Ghostbusters more in the last week than I have in my whole. Like, I've seen it probably a dozen times in my life.
Real talk,
and we've
man.
literally watched it like 20 times in the last week or two.
We don't talk enough about how Franny is the coolest person in this house.
Oh, she's the best.
By far.
She is a very spooky kid. She loves ghosts and morbid shit. And so we've watched that one and all the other ones. Like, we've literally seen all 5 Ghostbusters movies repeatedly over the last 2 weeks. So which is too much. We shouldn't be showing her any of them. She's 4 years old, but she loves them, and her tolerance is going up. Like, it used to be like, I can't watch this part, I'm scared, and she would like literally turn her back, or she would tell us to fast forward because she knows when it's going to get scary. But now she's just like fully watching all of it, and none of them are like. She's
like pausing it now and analyzing it. Yeah, you seen this? It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, now she's recognizing callbacks. Like in the new one, in one of the ones where there's teenagers, there's the ghost from the library is in there. Have you seen all of them?
I believe so, but not recently.
So Dan Aykroyd, he's the older version of Dan Aykroyd. He's walking through the library and he sees that ghost. And he has a moment with the ghost, and then that ghost jumps at him again. And she's like, that's the one from the first one. Because she doesn't actually understand that the old men are the guys from the first Ghostbusters.
That's cute.
So anyway, when you're watching the same stuff over and over again, I'll just pick up my phone and I'll like scroll Reddit, or I'll read this book about the British Armada. I guess it's not a British Armada because Armada is a Spanish word. Anyway, and Ross made this offhand comment that she thinks I'm on my phone too much around my kid. And it just really was a crummy way to part ways in the morning where I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And like, so we get into this mini argument about that. And like, I have a lot of feelings about it, but we didn't get to talk them out, and then I'll try to keep it about me. I don't want to point the finger too much, but like I'm just like of the mind of like when everything's going well in a marriage and everything's smooth, like why open new drawers or cans of worms? Like
leave the scabs alone.
Yes, that's a great metaphor. My scabs from 2 weeks ago are still healing. And also, I've been spending a lot of time with Franny, on
your phone.
Yes, yeah. But like she was specifically like, yeah, I notice when you're eating with her in the morning, you're like reading your phone while she watches the show, or during bath, I noticed you were on your phone, and I'm just like, yeah, well, you weren't here for the hour-long negotiation it took to get her into the bath. So like, my argument is like, if she's like doing her own thing, like watching the movie and eating or taking a bath and cleaning herself, my argument is like, I'm not getting involved because it's all happening the way it needs to happen right now.
Okay.
So like, I'm going to just like check out what's going on online or whatever. Cause she doesn't like, it's okay. Like to me, it's okay. Cause I don't do it 24/7. And,
do you,
so I guess I got all like defensive and funky.
Okay.
So that's generally where I am.
I feel you. It's gonna be fine. You know what I mean? You guys are good. It's, it was the timing. I think that's the interesting part.
Yeah.
And it was something that happens that hopefully won't happen again, but will.
Oh yeah.
Because it's marriage.
Yeah.
But I've made it a point not to talk about anything that bothers me until the evenings. I feel like I don't like saying something that like could throw off somebody's day, because then I'm the reason your day sucked. Like I set you off on the wrong thing. So that's something I've like been conscious of. I don't care about saying anything to my partner, but I care about when I say it. Like, because if I say something, I need to know that I can have the convo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really my issue. Like if I say something and then I'm like, I gotta bounce, I just left you with a bomb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that whole thing is gonna sit with you, and everybody sits different. You know what I mean, with stuff. So like I don't know if that's gonna affect your whole day. But I learned that because Michaela actually, like there was like a day where like she like forgot to do certain chores or something, and she had a test that day, and I noticed in the morning. So like I woke up, I was getting my stuff done, and then like when she woke up, she was getting ready, and like right before she left the house, I said, "Yo, like you didn't do this, and this," and like I talked to her harsh.
Yeah.
And then I sent her about her day, and I'm like, that's fucked up. Like I threw off her whole mojo, and now she got to deal with the world. And like if she has a bad day, I'm the person that's supposed to be setting her up to win, and I'm setting her up to fuck up today.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I felt terrible about it, and like I thought about it, and I decided to go pick her up. So like literally like 20 minutes into her day, I went to the school, said, hey, I need to take her to the doctor, something, blah, blah, blah. Made up some bullshit.
Yeah, yeah.
And just took her out to school day. And she's like, what's going on? I was like, hey, I just felt terrible about how I spoke to you. I meant all of it. To be clear, just I shouldn't have said it then.
Right.
And I didn't want you to have a bad test day because of me. You could take the test tomorrow, but I want to make sure that you're like in the right frame of mind for it. That fair? She's like, cool. She's like, you should have done all the stuff we talked about, but I shouldn't have told you that in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
And I because of that, like that sat with me because I do remember that feeling of like, my dad like having a shitty day, coming home and like me legitimately doing something wrong, but like him telling me and then leaving.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with that now.
Yeah, exactly. Know? Yeah.
And
yeah, it's like closing the loop.
Yeah.
For them.
I need and like you're better because you got it out maybe, but like I'm not.
Right.
And I don't know how to solve it. I don't know what you expect from me. And I don't have the opportunity to address it. So I make it a point when stuff like that happens to kind of like, let me hold off on this for a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Yeah, that's wise. And that's a beautiful story about going back to school for her.
Yeah, it's
that's
my
probably
homie.
something she won't forget.
Nah, she don't remember that shit, I'm sure.
Well,
it was meaningful for me. I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna ask her today. I don't think kids. I don't know.
How long ago do you think it was?
It's years ago. This is like I gotta say, I want to say at least 6.
Yeah.
She's in 10th grade now. I would say like 6 to 7 years.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they forget everything. Like there are things that like
but not to cut you off, but it's because what's meaningful for you is different.
Yeah, yeah.
And the same for them. They're gonna remember shit that you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Just like right now, like if I told you to remember a traumatic thing about your childhood, your moms would be like, really? That was the big deal day? You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's really interesting to think about. Like what, like, because I know the narrative I have about my childhood and my parents, and they have a different one, and now we're all creating one together. But what are the things that she's gonna remember?
Telling you, there's some moment where you said some dismissive shit that you didn't realize was dismissive.
Yeah, and
that shit's gonna sit with her and like shape her. And you were just trying to get like, yo, just move. I need a towel type shit.
Yeah.
And now everything different forever. You know? Yeah, nah, I know it is. That's why you try your best, because you gotta, hope that balances out. But nah, make no mistake. I'm sure she forgot because it wasn't significant necessarily to her.
Right.
It was to me. And in turn, I'm sure there's other things that like she'll be like, I remember this exactly, and I will not know what the fuck she's talking about.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We try our best out here, baby.
Well, I think you're the number one dad.
On my block, on my side.
Yes.
Actually, I'm not even number one. I think my dad's a better dad than me, and he's on my block.
You think so?
Yeah, I'd say so.
But it sounds like you have a more of an emotional availability.
I agree.
Or am I just projecting my own generational stuff on your dad? I barely know your dad.
No, I agree with that, but I also think he's grown in that department. I think he is a better grandpa than I am a dad. Yeah, I think, and also traditional role. If you go provider, he bodies me. Yeah, he's still providing for me. I'm 40.
You gotta
he's still helping.
Yeah, I think better grandfather than you are a dad. You got to grade that on a curve, though. Like your points are like 10 times as valuable as his. I
hope so.
For fatherhood versus grandfatherhood.
I'm trying.
So. Well, we'll figure it out. it's been a great episode.
This was emo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I was weird.
No, we were both a little emo today.
No,
I think we
all good.
I don't know if there's anything funny in this one, but like you got to know us.
I think what this podcast, once I'm able to regain my mental space and energy, it's gonna be on the upswing.
Real talk. It'll coming soon, baby.
September was a real pain in my ass. All right, we're already halfway through October, and I think it's gonna get better.
Amen.
All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.